Healing the body, mind, and spirit can be a very complex lesson. I've spent hundreds of hours, tens of thousands of dollars, and countless retreats understanding how to do this in my own life, and then how to make that knowledge available for your healing today. I'm going to show you step by step what I've learned, how I've applied it, and the result it's had in my life. But before I do that, as much as I'd love to give you everything I know to be true in this one video, it just isn't possible. Instead, I've written it all down, and I'm making it available to you for free by clicking the link below. Once you download my free Mind, Body, and Spirit guide, we'll dive in and begin the healing process together. For me, it was exactly in this order. I had to work on my body, and then my mind, and ultimately my spirit. So it may be different for you, but if your body's not feeling well, I think it's going to be hard for you to even concentrate on what something might feel good if your body is keeping you in pain, let's say, or if you just don't have the energy to get out of bed, or if you have these horrible headaches. You have to start with the deepest and densest part of yourself, which is your body, because your mind is something that it's free if you can get into the right state. And your spirit, well, it's just occupying this body right now, but we'll go into that later. So start with what might be aggravating you or adding to your anxiety right now. Stimulants like sugar, caffeine, and inflammatory foods are all around us. They're everywhere. They're on every corner. I literally say this to my family all the time. Why is it that the healthy stuff is more expensive? It's further out of reach. You have to literally go out of your way. A great example is at the airport. It's hard to find something healthy, something that's going to bring your energy up. People then just go and grab that caffeine. Lots of sugar is in there. Sometimes people are sensitive to dairy, like me and my kids. You put this thing in, you think it's going to help you. It costs a bunch of money. It's full of sugar. It ends up giving you a headache. You crash down and you ask yourself, why am I here again? Feeling like crap, not having energy, and I spent all this money. We have to start to think about what's going into our body. You may want to start to keep a journal. Think about the last time I felt like crap, I had this or that to eat. And then I responded this way. This is all part of self-awareness. Once my body started to feel better, I was able to then tackle my mind. Therapy, coaching, meditation, it can be so powerful because you start to dive into what we call the shadows. What is really underneath the thing? Several years back, therapy was one of the greatest reasons that I was able to overcome my breakup with my fiance and not go back to the same pattern. It's just important that even when we're taking advice from someone else, a therapist, whomever, just always check in with yourself. Listen to your gut. There were times when the therapist recommended that I take anti-anxiety meds. It just never felt good to me. I knew and I was afraid of the multitude of side effects. You know, the thing about medicine is it's going to take care of the symptom, but then it's going to guarantee you possible list of side effects. And sometimes those side effects just end up replacing the issue. How do we get around that? We just want to go deeper. We want to figure out what's really underneath the symptom. What is triggering it? So many times food and what we're putting into our body or how we're responding to what we put in our body is what will change the symptom and make it go away all on its own. But please remember, I'm not about judgment. All these things exist. Antibiotics, anti-anxiety pills, whatever it is, whatever works for anyone, I'm not here to judge you. I just want you to really tune in and say, is this the best version of myself? Is this adding to who I want to become? I knew that in my heart of hearts that I could overcome anxiety naturally. And I did. It took time. But it was worth it. I learned so much about myself in the process. I learned that the brain has neurotransmitters. And sometimes if we lean towards anxiety or depression, our brain is making more excitatory than calmers, or maybe too many calmers and not enough excitatory. So it's an imbalance that's happening in our brain. There are so many things that exist out there to help us get through this. I began by going to a naturopath. I paid for some tests that showed my levels of my neurotransmitters. It's not your general test that any doctor is going to give you. You have to start to seek a person that's really trying to understand what's going on. And What I found for me was that my excitatory were really high and the calmers were low. So I was able to get these herbs that then have made a tremendous impact on me. They have helped me so much. They're doing what an anti-anxiety pill will do without the side effects. They're incredible. In fact, I've always had a fear of flying. I think for me, it's one of the final frontiers of major anxiety for me. And then if you add to it a baby or two, teething, the gas, whatever happens to them on a plane, everyone's looking at you, your kid's the one crying. Let me tell you, maybe you've overcome your anxiety. It can all come back. But for 10 years, I used anti-anxiety meds when flying. And what I noticed is that my frontal lobe was like, shut off. So I wasn't feeling fear, but then when I got to where I was going, I couldn't remember where I unpacked certain clothing or my swimsuits. I remember this distinctly thinking, I feel dumb. Why am I feeling so numbed in my mind? And I realized that it was the side effects of that anti-anxiety med slowly working its way out. So I found GABA, which is G-A-B-A, and L-theanine. And between GABA and L-theanine and meditation, my breath work, I was able to kick the benzos and not rely on medication. Essential oils, they can calm you. They can help with nausea and headaches, peppermint. It's incredible. I use GABA now when I fly. I don't have to take the anti-anxiety meds. Once your body starts to feel better, your mind is clearer, you're more focused, you're more tuned into your needs and your feelings, you're honoring what you really want in your life, you're making the steps to get closer to where you want to be, then you can start to focus on the spiritual. For me, that is true self-love. It's putting yourself first. As a mom, it may sound like, yeah, right, how do you put yourself first? You still can. You can do the work on yourself and take time for yourself. Whether that is getting up early to meditate or staying up a little bit late and doing a nice bath, a little ritual with crystals and some essential oils, some nice music, pamper yourself. Maybe you file your nails. It's like just taking time for you to help you remember, I'm still here. I'm here for me. I love me. And the more you start to take moments out of your day for you, this is the other thing. Don't make it be once a month. Make it once a week. Make it once a day. You will look forward to this time with just you to give back to yourself. I accept that I'm not perfect. I wasn't perfect before the kids, and I'm certainly not perfect after. Stretch marks, the list goes on. But loving myself for all that I've been through, opening my heart and appreciating this life, that each moment is a gift, and truly, we have so much freedom. We have to tune in to what we have that we should be grateful for versus thinking about what we don't have. This is why I think it's important to at times take a break or a little detox from television or radio or magazines. Some of these things that start to pull us out from who we truly are. Come back to yourself, journal. Let your subconscious mind start to show itself to you. You will find that you can give so much back to yourself. Also, choosing who you spend your time in your life with. This is huge. If you're hanging around with toxic people who are complaining about being stuck in a rut, about how nobody likes them, or how all their boyfriends leave them, instead of blaming it on other people, we need to really look at ourselves, and we need to look at who we choose to spend our time with. Everyone is influencing and adding to or taking away. If you're ready to make the change to love yourself and everything you've been through, to live a life of gratitude and acceptance, and to truly open your heart with appreciation to this life, choosing each moment, freedom, I have a resource I want to give you. Click the link below to download my free resource today. Feel free to like, subscribe to my channel, or comment below. Thank you.